Welcome to CSN the Network podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-host, Dree Nazario and Malik Hampton. How are y'all doing this evening?
We good. Ready to talk some sports. No complaints. How's everybody doing?
Y'all know me, blessed and highly favored. Feeling good today. How you doing, brother?
Oh, y'all know the vibes. As you would say, blessed and highly favored. Definitely doing better now that I'm talking to you two. As I mentioned last podcast episode, it was my birthday. So, man, it's just a blessing to to Dree's.
He faked too because he definitely didn't hit me up on his way back. I know y'all heard that.
Yeah, that's my fault, gang, for sure. Definitely a blessing, though. As Dree mentioned before we hopped on air, she could definitely tell, that we getting older for sure. But we not old, though, and it's a blessing to get older. As I mentioned before, my father, we got homies, family members that didn't make it to this age, you know what I'm saying? So, it's always a blessing. Definitely can't take it for granted. And we're going to keep putting on for the ones we lost and, for each other. So we just going to keep pushing forward and keep progressing. You know what I mean? Like I told y'all, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We ain't never going to stop. So quit asking me, are we still doing the pod? And told y'all numerous times now. A better question would be, when is the new pod coming out? So with that said, let's hop right into it, Drizzy.
I got y'all. We all know the Olympics just ended this past Sunday. So first we're going to talk men's basketball. Team USA defeated France for the gold medal in the Olympics. Should Bron have won MVP over Steph? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. He almost averaged a triple-double, in my opinion. Steph kind of turned it on the last two games, which, again, were, clutch or key moments to advance the USA to the next game and then eventually the gold medal. But when you talk about consistency across the scope of the Olympics, again, I think Bron was more consistent. And it's crazy to me that he's still doing it at an elite level, at a high level, almost at age 40. So just short and sweet.
I don't understand why everything got to be such a debate, man. I see Marbury hating.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people just throwing they little Twitter joints out there to get the engagements. Like, I mean, it really, to be honest with you, it should have been Bron, like, just answering the question. But, like, it really don't matter at the end of the day. Like, they over there trying to win a gold for the country, and the country over here arguing against, like,
who should want MVP or not? Like,
it's so pointless, you know what I'm saying? But two things, it's not an American committee, you know what I'm saying? The Olympic Committee votes on that, you know what I'm saying? So there's biases taken out of context there, you know what I'm saying? And then second, like, Bron was probably the most consistent player they had. They didn't have KD the whole time, you know what I'm saying? Steph didn't show up to the last two games, you know what I'm saying, which was clutch. Ain't nobody taking that away from Steph, you know what I'm saying? But, like, what's the constant to keep it all together, like, in between while they still figuring it out, while Steve Kerr's still not playing Tatum, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, when Joker killing them and they up by 20, you know what I'm saying? And Bron got to go take Joker for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's pointless arguments, to be honest with you. Bron should have won it. Even if they would have given it to Steph, I'm sure nobody would have, like, complained or cried. We've seen the way Steph looked the last two games, you know what I'm saying? Super clutch. If they would have made it based off of that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's really not an argument, but the most consistent player was Bron, no matter what anybody really said.
And that's my point. Of course, not to be all in agreement here, but if you was watching the Olympics, specifically, the basketball portion of it, you saw LeBron, there were at least two games where he just put the team on his back and just willed them to a win. It was in the exhibition games, but still, to bro's point, he was the most consistent throughout. Up until Steph did what he did the last two games, Bron was the leading scorer, leading assist man, everything, right? So we can't discount that just because bro went crazy. Now, don't get it twisted. Those last two performances was he turned up for sure. But as far as
That's what put him over the edge on scoring for the team. It
yeah,
was real close. It was still close. They both averaged like what 14-8 and then 14-1 or something like that.
I think it's like 14-5 and 14-8,
Yeah,
something like that.
something silly. So
super mad close. Yeah, like
Well,
yeah, because I think it was KD that averaged 14, right, like right on the dot.
yeah, but KD was like 14-1.
Yeah, so like what we talking about, y'all?
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
just
don't
don't
matter.
anybody who say anything now, I'm like, at this point, you're just a hater, bro. Like, I can't
That's a
even
fact.
argue with you. I'm not even going to debate with you. You're just a hater because there's no way somebody who almost averaged a triple double should get MVP.
Steph
Hands
was averaging 7 points prior to that, Drizzy.
exactly.
Like Marbury, like let's not be bro. I spoke about you highly on here. A lot of people forget about you. Please don't give them a reason to continue to do so by hating. Please, because you was nice. You was
But
nice. I try to hold it down for you. Malik can vouch, Dree can vouch. I brought you up as one of the top one and dones. We brought you up when we was talking about dudes that was nice in the league that people forget about, right? But you can't do stuff like that. Like, bro was scared. You trying to insinuate bro was scared to deal with you directly? No, if you a hater, we're not acknowledging you. You see it. You see what we doing.
right,
You the
right,
one who tapped me on my chest. Like, what we talking about? That's
right,
that's even worse to try to touch somebody to get greeted and then they don't greet you. You know what I mean? That hurts the ego. That's probably why he hollering like that. You know what I mean? So
right, right.
it is what it is. I just wanted to throw that out there, man. Y'all know we address the real on here. So
Yeah.
Shout out to the USA team, man.
Yeah, shout out to the USA team overall too. I know we're gonna go uh, a little deeper, but we talked about medal counts. We ended up tying with China with 40 gold medals. But overall, the overall medal count, we brought over 100 medals back to the USA. So shout out to the squad, USA, USA. My bad. Real quick. Oh man, but let's talk about Steph a little bit. With those two performances in the Olympics, and him winning the gold medal being the last accolade he needed to attain, to solidify his legacy. Where do you have him ranked in all, as far as all-time point guards go? And I know we kind of talked about this before, but does this, help boost his number, his overall number?
Lake, I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe it's I'm caught in the moment, but I think I think it's established that he the number one point, man. That's no knock to Magic. Everybody knows if you know me personally. You can see it right there. You know what I mean? We love the Lakers. I'm a diehard Laker fan, right? But I think Steph is the best point guard to ever play, right? Now when it comes to playmaking, of course, it doesn't get better than Magic, right? But outside of that, Steph is a great rebounding point guard. It's the greatest shooter that ever walked this earth, right? I feel like the gravity that he creates, on the court, the attention he attracts, that's you could bring up numbers like he's not a high assist guy like Magic, but the attention that he causes, he's freeing his guys up to get free layups, free open shots. You know what I'm saying? So all the stuff that he does, on top of being the first unanimous and only unanimous MVP, like I said, being the greatest shooter on earth, having 4 rings, being a small guard but dominated the league. I think it's clear cut for me that he's the number one point guard, man. And that's my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? That's no knock to the OG. I love Magic. Magic is still a top 10 player of all time. You know what I mean? Definitely one of the greatest point guards to ever touch the floor as well. But I'm taking Steph though. So what you think though, Lake City?
Um, I'm not really using the Olympic performance to prop him up even more, just personally. But I mean, he's probably the greatest point guard I've ever watched. You know what I'm saying? Like, got the privilege of watching because we didn't get to watch Magic. You got to go back, and watch that. But to be honest with you, I still don't know if he surpassed Magic. You know what I'm saying? I think they're 1 and 2 for sure. You know, there was even a time where even with Steph with like a ring or two, I still didn't have him above Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Just You know, that could be nostalgia talking, you know what I'm saying? But that was like our generation's like, you know, greatest point guard, you know what I'm saying? Um, for a while up until Steph, you know what I'm saying, took off or whatever. But yeah, I'd probably still have him at 2. Magic's just got such a crazy career, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
And his
and
career got cut short too.
that too, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, if I was picking a team, it'd be hard for me not to probably pick Magic to run my one, depending on what build makeup I'm going with for sure, you know, but you know what you're getting in Magic for sure. You know, he's gonna affect the game in all ways. You know, I know you said Steph was a great rebounding guard, but we know Magic was. You know, we know he would play the 5. You know, like it's yeah, I still would
It's
have
kind of
him.
hard to
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to compare the two,
it is. They're
especially
such different point guards.
yeah, especially when we talk and we talked about this before, like when we go cross generational or cross generations, because the game is different, right? Like you said, as far as um being kind of like a pass first type guard or getting your team involved. Like, yeah, Steph does that, but it's at a different level for Magic. Like, that's his first play. Steph is able to do that because he can shoot so well. So you got people that essentially going to be kind of wide open because you people running 2 and 3 guys at Steph. So to me, it's kind of hard to compare, across generations. But I would say for our generation, like Lee said, kind of the best point guard that we've been able to watch and witness.
Sure.
Not worry. I just want to take the moment to shout out J Kidd too. That's my personal favorite point guard. Love J Kidd, man. So
Um, you kind of touched on this too in reference to Steph, but where do you all have them ranked as from a shooter standpoint? Like,
oh well.
yeah, all times,
Well,
all time.
what's our top 5? What's our top 5 shooters of all time?
Yeah,
Outside of Steph?
yeah.
Oh man. See, like, I want to pose this. This is a good question because if y'all look at the numbers, like career total 3-pointers made, I promise y'all, James Harden and Damian Lillard. I think Dame should get it, but James Harden and Damian Lillard both about to have over 3,000 made threes, which will put them at 2 and 3 behind Steph. Now, if you hear a list though, a lot of lists not gonna have Dame or James Harden in there, right? But check my list out though. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. How close James is. You know what I'm saying? Steph still got like 700 more threes than him, but it's crazy, right? But Steph definitely going to eclipse 4,000. Now that's without a doubt. I know I was kind of fronting in the leak chat, in the chat leak a couple years ago because I think I said I don't know if he'll be able to get 4,000, but I see it now because he keeps playing at a high level. So, but to answer your question, Drizzy, directly, number 1, of course, we got Steph. Number 2, I got Clay. Number 3, I got Jesus Shuttlesworth, aka Ray Allen. Number 4, I got Reggie Miller still. And number 5, this is going to shock some people, contrary to what I just said about the rankings. I know we talking 3-point shooters, but I'm taking KD. I'm taking KD at 5. So again, in its entirety, I'm taking Steph, Clay, Ray, Reggie, and KD. Some people want to mention Kyle Korver. That's no knock to him. If you want to mention James Harden, that's cool. If you want to mention Dame Lillard, that's fine. I just think just from a pure shooting perspective right there, specifically at that 5 spot, I can't name too many people that I think is just a better pure shooter than KD. Like, it's insane to me, his jump shot. Like, it's insane. So that's my top 5, though, as far as 3-point shooters of all time. What y'all got? You know, y'all both point guards. What y'all thinking, man? Both y'all could shoot. What y'all thinking?
I mean, mine's is the same besides Reggie Miller. I have Dirk Nowitzki at 4 instead of Reggie Miller.
Mm. Mm.
It's the same exactly. Steph played Ray, Dirk, KD for me.
Yeah, mine is the same. I think I might put Ray at number two, Clay at number three. I mean, I know based off numbers,
Well, no,
but
I mean, Ray had his own team, multiple
yeah,
teams.
yeah,
So I get
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I might put Ray at number two, Clay at number three. I think I'm gonna keep Reggie in mine, and I know it's somebody like old school that we missing, like I don't know, like a Ginobili or something. I don't know. It's just somebody
Hey,
old school that,
Stojakovic.
yeah, somebody like that we missing. We missing, and that's what I'm gonna reserve that last spot for. I didn't really get to do any research prior to, but I'm gonna reserve that last spot for somebody who we just missing from the old school.
I'm surprised I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm surprised one of y'all didn't say James Harden
James Harden.
or Dame. I mean, who y'all think is a better shooter between those two? I would say Dame, but the
I'm gonna
numbers,
say Dame.
Dame.
Yeah, but because James, he probably puts up more shots when you
yeah,
think about it. Like he was running the one for a long time, for a couple of years, especially when he's playing at the Rockets, just coming down launching that hole. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
He had a nice run, but I think consistently Dame has been better across his career. But
And we love Dame up here, so we don't want to. Of course, we aren't haters, so I don't even have to address that because I know we're not coming off as haters. But reason why I don't have Dame in my top five, you got nitpick when we doing these top fives, right? I don't think he's as good as a catch and shoot type of threat as all of the names we mentioned, including Dirk. Y'all got to think a lot of the aforementioned names modeled their game after Reggie Miller in reference to Clay and Steph. That was their favorite player, not Ray Allen. It was Reggie Miller, right? So, I got a lot of respect for Reggie. And, of course, Ray Allen, even though him and Kobe had problems back in the day. So, I ain't going to lie, my childhood, I kind of wasn't banging with Ray. So, I kind of wasn't respecting him as a youngin', but now that I'm an adult, all is forgiven. Definitely got respect for, like I said, Jesus Shuttlesworth. But yeah, um, again, no knock to Kyle Korver. I just think at a high level, like playoff basketball, I'm considering all that.
yeah,
Like that corner three
I
right
would throw,
for the Heat.
yeah,
Come on, that's
I would throw JR in there too.
Jr. Now, J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
You tripping?
He might not be greatest, like top five, but he up there, man.
Nah. I got a lot of love for Smitty too, though, man. J.R. Smith was nice. He was
You
just a
just gotta
sticky
think.
shooter.
You gotta think about circumstances too. Like to your point, if we nitpicking, yeah, but when I think of like great shooters, I'm thinking about the moments. Like yeah, regular games, everybody come down and had a clip, but when it come down to you need that bucket, like you need the three, or it's over for y'all.
That's why Dirk was so tough.
He comes to mind.
Dirk can shoot over you from anywhere.
You were. That is
That
very
was the
true.
problem.
Yeah, Dirk was definitely a
I'm
problem.
gonna tell y'all another real quick before we move on, Dre. I know you about to move on. He don't get mentioned a lot, Lake and Dre, but Melo was a great 3-point shooter too.
Yeah,
That
Melo,
was a good shooter, period.
Yeah,
Rashard
facts.
Lewis.
Rashard
Um,
Lewis was nice, Dre.
yeah,
Dang, people forget about him, Dre.
yeah, yeah. Those are people that come to mind. Now, I'm not saying they top five, but they up there.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? They
No, yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um. So we're gonna move to the women's side. Also, Team USA defeated France, and Aja Wilson won MVP. So we want to shout out them. I don't think anybody had any rebuttals in reference to that, but also want to shout out Kalia Cooper. She went crazy in the championship game. She tough, man. She's tough. Um, just a couple of things that I saw, like in reference to that championship game. Sabrina got exposed a lot. To me, I think Sabrina and Caitlin are kind of almost like the same player in a sense, um, in reference to their play style. And I think Caitlin would have struggled kind of like Sabrina struggled against the, faster, stronger, quicker teams because they was just trapping her on defense. She had, turnovers and key moments, things like that. But Again, shout out to Age Wilson, a dog. Um, with that, the WNBA starts back on Thursday. And some of the things I'm most looking forward to, it'd be interesting to see how um the the league fares out, the standings fare out, because I think right now the New York Liberty are number one. Aces sit at like number 5, I believe, and I'm just doing this off the top of my head. So for the majority of the USA team to go back to their respective teams and come off of a high, and then go back to the WNBA, and their teams may rank wherever they rank. It'd be interesting to see how that carries over. The USA glory carries over. Like, they don't really get a chance to celebrate. They gotta go right back to work. You know what I'm saying? Versus everybody else out having a good time, gallivanting and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see how their legs are, and how they fare over the course of the season. Again, I think Asia's a dog. Um, Chelsea didn't really play that much. Kelsey, she played a good amount of minutes, so I don't know if they're gonna have enough in the tank to be able to, I guess, get over that hump or repeat. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting. And I guess we get to hear or get back on to Caitlin and Angel Reese talk. We got a break for 2 weeks. So I'm sure they'll be back, talking about that stuff.
Drizzy,
Moving on. Yeah.
real quick before you move on, I got a question for you.
Mm.
Because I know you remember Gabby Williams, right?
Yeah.
I know you seen her hooping for France. I forgot all about Gabby, no disrespect.
Mm.
She was nice, right? I
Yeah.
seen an interaction her and Aja had on Twitter where she was trying to recruit her back.
Mm.
Like what happened? Because she said the league did her dirty or something.
Yeah. So I went, and again, I'm not completely sure, but I believe there is some type of rule in WNBA, if you compete with your national team, that you have to sit out, or like the WNBA has to come first, pretty much, right? So I don't know if y'all remember the one time that Diane, again, I reference this a lot, but Diana Taurasi sat out because she was playing overseas,
Mm.
and something happened, right? So she sat out a year at the WNBA. But there's some type of rule, and this is maybe why the Blumake sisters and Arike Ablumawale didn't play for Nigeria, because they usually do, like for FIBA. So I would have to look into it, but I believe it was something in reference to that. Gabby probably knew she wasn't going to make the USA team, so she played for France, and it was probably some technicalities that happened. I heard the WNBA, they a little nasty too. So in reference to how they do business, but um, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So we will have to follow up.
I just found something where it said that the rule requires players to prioritize the WNBA over international leagues. It was codified in the 2020 collective bargaining agreement, but goes into effect for the first time for the 2023 season. So to your point, you prioritizing my league over your country or over
Mm-hmm.
any international league. I don't care if you
Mm-hmm.
was Euro League MVP or about to be anything. You playing for us. And if not, gotta sit out.
But the crazy thing is, though, it's like crazy for them to put that in the bylaws when they're not even paying people like that. And yeah, I mean, your league is like 4 months. You feel me? Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know. It's weird.
I don't get
I,
that.
I guess I get it from a business standpoint. You want to be selfish. You want to make sure you got people who actually play in your league. So if you don't make rules like that, you may not, people may be bouncing back and forth, and you don't necessarily want that. But who knows? Who knows? Anywho, moving along, we're gonna move right into uh, football. Um, Preseason just began. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Last weekend, yeah, this past weekend.
This past weekend, and Madden just dropped. What are some key storylines that have caught your interest in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm interested to see Lake what happens with that QB competition in Denver. Zach Wilson looked good the other day, but Bo Nix looked really good the other day. So it looks like Jared Stidham might be the odd man out as of right now. I know he was in the press conference, last week talking. I know he hazing. Excuse me, not. I don't want to use the term hazing. That has a negative connotation. He was making Bo Nix do his rookie duties, but it's interesting because that might end up being the starter. Of course, we've talked about it before. The Ayuk situation is definitely, that's close to home for me. That's my favorite team. Definitely interested to see what happens with that. Hey, real quick, Lee, to my point, the Browns agreed to that trade, bro. We was really about to get Coop. He just turned it down. Ayuk didn't want to go to Cleveland, so
That's
okay.
insane. Where the NFL is, I don't get the NFL at all, bro.
Oh, I don't either. I don't pretend to act like we know I get what you're conveying for sure. Um, Another storyline I'm looking forward to, man. I want to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like, man. Because they saying Malik Neighbors is like better than him right now. That's some reports are out there that's saying that he's potentially better than Marvin Harrison Jr. When in college, Marvin Harrison, that looked like a generational talent, still is. I'm excited to see, how that plays out. I feel like that's another comparison between, like a Julio, AJ Green comparison. You know what I mean? Two elite top receivers. Pick your poison. What you like, right? Um, yeah. That's pretty much. Oh well, I want to see what Sam Darnold look like now in Minnesota. Now that JJ McCarthy got hurt, unfortunately, he messed up some of his meniscus, so he's going to have to miss this upcoming season. So Sam Darnold, you get another chance, man. See what you can do with this starting opportunity. You got a great wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, right there on the outside that you could throw to. So yeah, man. But those are the most intriguing storylines for me that I got so far. Although, like I did see where Stafford got hurt or something. I saw that, but I don't know, you know, how severe it is or anything of that nature. But yeah. What you got though?
Bro, you took all the top storylines. But yeah, the Vikings got a bunch of injuries going on right now. Jordan Addison just went down. So that's their injuries just piling up. So that's been, a topic of mine that I've been paying attention to. Um Hassan Reddick, not getting his money from the Jets like they agreed upon. I don't know why the Jets didn't, get some type of contract together. Uh, Knowing they were trading for him, you know what I'm saying? I see both sides of it. Actually, I don't even really see the Jets side of it. They should have had that ready to go. Nobody's gonna show up without their money. You know what I'm saying? Um, After that, yeah, Brandon Ayuk situation. I think everybody's still, monitoring that. Uh, See where he ends up. It's kind of seems like he's going to end up, not in a 49er uniform. I just don't know if the Steelers trade is actually going to go through or not.
Yeah, I wonder who
Uh,
they offering, bro. I wonder who they offering back.
yeah, I seen something that said the Niners had asked for Minka Fitzpatrick in one, and I thought that was just hilarious. Like the Niners are y'all guys are funny, bro. I don't get that. You're not getting picks and Minka Fitzpatrick. That don't make sense to me at all. No. And I see you over there looking crazy. It's as simple as this. Brandon Ayuk isn't a top 5 receiver. Minka Fitzpatrick is a top 5 safety. It's incomparable to me. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I know that the league plays a lot on age and whatnot. You know. But yeah, that's probably the top ones for me. Stafford ain't really hurt. We have had a lot of, nicks on the offensive line. So, hopefully everybody can get back right before the season. Um, but yeah, Stafford stays nicked up. They're gonna keep him out. He'll be ready for week 1. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, I think they both nice. I think they both were good, college receivers. I think the reports, really, from what I've gathered from those reports that you're talking about, is just people are just amazed because Malik Neighbors is making like highlight plays at camp. But, from what I've seen from Marvin Harrison, him going up against, the top corners he's gone up against, it's just looking effortless, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks the same, like how I did in college, bro. He just looked like a top tier guy, you know what I'm saying? Like a vet, bro, like, so people they not seeing the splash plays like they are with Neighbors, the spectacular catches and everything. But Marvin Harrison Jr., he's a technician, bro. You know what I'm saying? His dad has been training him since a jit, bro. Like, he's polished. He's just way more polished than anything. You know what I'm saying? He's just going about his business. So I think he's gonna have a good year for sure. But yeah, that's probably what I've been paying attention to the most, man. Can't wait. We're only a couple weeks out.
Only a couple weeks out, brother.
So I know you guys have heard about the rumblings about the NFL debating to add another regular season game. How do you all feel about that?
I think the NFL is trying to be greedy, number one. From a football fan standpoint, of course, we're going to love, right? This is where the NFL is funny to me, Malik, because you're not going to get negative backlash from the fans because y'all know we want more football. But from a neutral standpoint, like, how do you remotely care about player safety? How is adding another regular season game going to ensure that we're going to have the best playoff football that we could possibly have? How does that ensure that when guys are more at risk for injury, they're more tired? This past playoffs, anytime the playoffs are on playoff football, that's high level, intense, high execution, big plays being made, drop passes, that's going to be factored in. We're going to remember that. Penalties, we're going to remember that, right? Because in the playoffs, those little plays, those little mistakes, rather, come up big at the end. You're not going for it on fourth down. You're not getting the points. You going for it on fourth down and not getting the points. Stuff like that comes back to bite you in the playoffs. Why kind of water down the brand of how hard and good playoff football is by adding another game where your top quarterback could be out, top running back could be out, your top DN. You know what I'm saying? Like, goodness. I know it's about money, but daggone, man. How can y'all possibly say that y'all care about player safety? They got to play Malik, they got to play 2 Thursday night games now. Everybody has to play 2 Thursday night games. So everybody has to play on a short week now. High risk for injury. We just got out of a car crash Sunday, got to go right back into another one on Thursday. We got to do that twice in the season. And now y'all talking about adding another game? I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to come off like I'm frustrated, but y'all know we really love football up here on the network, right? And I really just got to think about, from a player standpoint, like how can you possibly say you care about player safety with all those risks that I just mentioned? But I digress, Lee. That's all I got. What you think, my brother?
I mean, as a fan, you love it because you get more football. You get football for an extra week, but you're also, weary, of, just player safety. Those Thursday night games, they've been complaining about those forever. You know what I'm saying? So just having 2 of them, just sounds crazy. But if they're going to add it, you know what I'm saying, that is what it is. They're about making money. Have at it. I would hope they get an extra bye week. I would hope so, But also I heard Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco talking about it. And there's something he said that I kind of agree with when it comes to this. If they're going to add another game, then FLPA, they got to, when it's time to go back to the negotiation tables, about that, they got to be met in the middle somewhere. So Shannon said they should take away the franchise tag, and I agree with that, allow players to hit the market, at an earlier time so they can generate more money. If you're not going to pay them more money, you know what I'm saying, per position, if you're going to cap out each position and control the market how they've been doing, you know what I'm saying, as far as value goes per position, take the tag away, let players have more freedom to go out there and earn some more money, since that seems the way that they're going to be that seems to be the only way they'll be able to, get it at this point in time. So yeah, I if that's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying, I would hope the NFLPA just goes to the table and finds out a way for them to get some money, man, to be honest with you. Because it's gonna happen regardless. But I hope the players get they just share. Like I said, I'm a fan, so I'm not mad at more football. Just hope injuries don't pile up so it doesn't water down the playoff product, because like you said, that is the purest form. But yeah. And coaches might come up with something innovative too. Maybe sitting somebody for a week or something. I know some games, get close as far as division race and playoff race goes. But also at the end of the season, we also see some people starting to tank, or rest some guys. So we'll see. I'm not really either way on it. I just want the players to somehow get more money out of this.
With all of that being said, what changes would you like to see the NFL make?
That kickoff, go back to the old kickoff. That new kickoff they got is terrible.
That's a
I'm jumping
fact.
there on that right there.
Explain
I
it to the
think
people who may not know.
I think they should stop putting so much value on the quarterback position so the money can equal out, and stop capping off each positions and controlling the market, as I was saying, putting value on people, because, the Giants had no problem paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year, but Saquon had to scratch and claw for his money because of his position and the way they want to value it. I understand quarterbacks are important. I understand you need good QB play, to win the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if that's not an elite quarterback, you know what I'm saying, you still need good quarterback play. But we've seen it time and time again, where the quarterback isn't the best player on the team, probably isn't the most valuable player on the team. He just plays the most important position. So he has to get paid a certain way. And it's making it's making it a problem for other people to get their money when it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of elite players in the NFL. The quarterbacks aren't the only elite players. So those are probably the two things right there, you know what I'm saying? For me, for sure.
And real quick, Drizzy, I heard what you said. Just to piggyback on what my brother just stated, to give y'all the true definition of what the new kicking format is. The kicking team still kicks the ball from their own 35-yard line, but players from the kicking team start at their opponent's 40 and cannot move until the ball either hits the ground or a player in the landing zone, which is defined as the area between the goal line and the 20-yard line. Only the kicker and two returners are allowed to move until the ball hits the ground or is touched by a returner inside the 20. This is cutting down on high-speed collisions. This is why we don't like this, right? Football is physical. I consider that a gladiator sport. That's a man sport. Outside of, fighting, boxing, MMA, I'm putting football right up there with them, right? So, like, stuff like that just makes the game soft to me. I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. But to answer your question, only rule that I would like to change is, and I know it may slow the game down, Malik, but I feel like if you get your first two challenges right, you should get a third one. And I feel like you should be able to challenge pass interference calls again. I know they tried it a few years ago and they went away from it. Sometimes that's real questionable and touchy. I would like to have the option to at least challenge that. So those would be the primary changes I'd make. The changes that you mentioned are perfect. So definitely can't argue that. So, it's not too much wrong with the game outside of what we would like to see that we mentioned. So that's it. That kickoff rule crazy though, man. NFL funny. Let's make it more soft, but add a game so nobody get hurt. I see what y'all doing. Like, it's hilarious.
forward to it. That's all I got for y'all boys.
Anybody got any unreadiness, anything they want to state, address?
Nah, man. You know, maybe closer to football time. You know, I'll get braggadocious, pump my chest out. Nah, I ain't got nothing right now.
USA, USA.
America.
Y'all go. America. Shout out to America. Yeah. Shout out to them athletes, man. For real, that it was a good time watching the Olympics this year. I don't know what really made it different, but definitely was, more in tune, more locked in. So uh, I
Yeah,
think it's
probably just
just a
because
little nostalgic, you know.
I feel like the accessibility, Dre, that's probably why this year was a little different. Because,
Yeah.
before you had to be up at like 4 a.m. or something, 3 to
But
catch
I
these
still
games.
think, sorry, not to cut you off, bro, but I still think America could do way better than what they did. Like, because if you ain't have certain streaming platforms like Peacock or YouTube TV, like, they should have been playing like the gold medal games or the gold medal races or the gold medal events on every like public platform. ABC, NBC, all of that stuff. But I feel like again, America just so money hungry that if you don't have like they make it a privilege to be able to watch certain things that we used to be prideful about. Like back in school, the Olympics used to be on regular TV.
Yeah, that is true.
It wasn't on regular TV. Nobody's just like I feel like it was again nostalgic for me because I was able to watch it, but for those who weren't or didn't have Peacock, they weren't watching it. Like I'm talking to friends, they was just like, "Oh yeah, I didn't catch it." You know what I'm saying?
Don't know where to get. Don't know
Where you don't know where to look. So
So
we got to do better.
for sure. But yeah, I don't have anything I want to add or state, man. Shout out to all my Leos, man. Just want to state that, man. As always, we appreciate your support. Please continue to like, subscribe, share, and view the content. It's your boy KVZ. I'm with Lake the God and Drizzy, and we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace.